Why is China accumulating trillions of US dollars for 20 years? And China is doing this with its own currency, yuan. And China is buying US dollars with yuan from the international currency market, which is devaluing the yuan at the same time tending to its growing manufacturing and export sectors. China has accumulated trillions of dollars, largely by buying dollar-dominated debt and U.S. Treasury bonds from 1990 to 2000. From imports to China in the past, China's currency was overvalued, and the Chinese Communist Party devalued the currency in the 1990s. The advantage realizes a competitive edge in export markets, with the depreciating yuan. China benefits from this. In 1980, $1 was equal to 1.6 yuan in the country's manufacturing sector. In 1995, it stood at 8.3 yuan. As a result, China continued to accumulate a large trade surplus. It could produce goods cheaper than others. Imports and exports increased. Gone country yuan will be needed to buy Chinese products. The demand for yuan is expected to increase. The value of yuan is expected to increase. China's export price and the country's purchasing power are expected to increase. The country's imports are expected to reach a balance of trade surplus. But China wants to increase its production and export sector by buying dollars from the international market. The yuan began to depreciate by printing a lot of yuan to buy dollars. China was afraid of inflation as a result, but the Chinese banks were forced to reduce their loans. Financial assets purchased by China included U.S. Treasury bonds. The United States borrowed money from China, and thus the two countries have fallen into a financial off-balance trap. China was dependent on the United States to export goods. The United States relied on China to convert its dollars into bonds. Then the United States feared that the dollar would depreciate. Dependence on U.S. imports would have collapsed the Chinese economy. After the economic recession around 2008, the U.S. realized that it did not need China to deal with the deficit, because since 2010 People's Bank of China official reserve has suddenly increased. Its real size is unimaginable. China is believed to be hiding another $3 trillion in its quasi-government banks and agencies. But as the value of the dollar begins to fall and the Federal Reserve begins to cut profits, the Chinese economy will demand more yuan instead of dollars. And the risk is that Chinese banks will want to rid themselves of the dollar. The geo-economy will read their dollar dumping. The currency will further devalue. The currency dumping will increase further. A devaluation would cause the currency to fall dramatically, causing dramatic changes in the U.S. and global economy, as the U.S. dollar plays a multifaceted role in China's economy and helps protect its financial position. As the U.S. dollar is one of the most used currencies in the world market, the use of the U.S. dollar in commercial transactions helps China secure its trade relations and ensure the import and export of their goods. The U.S. dollar is known to be an important part of China's foreign exchange reserves. This increases an attractive portion of China's currency overseas remittances and secures their situation. China collects and values U.S. dollars so that they can control the value of their own currency, the yuan, through the U.S. currency. The collection of U.S. dollars helps China's currency collection and facilitates the appreciation of their own currency.